At some point, he decided to do something about it.
I think that in that moment, there was like a confidence bomb went off, and I was like, I'm not gonna let anyone take advantage of me, my family, my friends, and I'm gonna do the very best I can with no matter what I have, right? No matter what cards I'm dealt, I'm gonna do the very best I have, and I'm not gonna let anything like that ever happen again, because I realized that we all have something special inside us, and you should never let anyone treat you that way, ever.
That anger just, he harnessed it. You know, people turn to drugs, people turn to drinking. He used it in the weight room, and he says, okay, I'm gonna change my body.
In middle school, we had everybody was over at our house, and we had ordered pizza and gotten soda, and my mother was always baking something, so I think she had made, cookies or brownies or whatever, and Mark was like, oh, thank you very much, but I'm really trying to eat healthy, and I don't want to eat anything with sugar in it. And so he had a salad, and I'm sure my mother made him, like some grilled chicken or something.
So our 8th grade year, I went to one middle school, he went to another. And then the following year when we met back up at Durfee, he was a total different kid. Like size-wise, he shrunk, he was in great shape. I was like, wow, Mark, what happened to you? And he's like, just been working out. And it was funny because during that time, when we were at the little summer program, whenever we would have snack or whatever, he was always eating carrots, celery, strictly vegetables, drinking water. He wouldn't mess with any of the coffee cakes that they had, the chocolate milk.
Wow. What happened? Where'd you come from? You know what I mean?
Mark always, far and away, was more disciplined than anyone else around him. The rest of us were more typical high school kids. There were a lot of really good athletes that really put a huge amount of time and effort into their sport. Very, very often, Mark would, say, no, I can't do that. I've got to practice in the morning. I'm going to work out at 5. And we'd be like, work out at 5? Like, do you have something else to do tomorrow? Why don't you work out at 8 and then you can still come out tonight? And he was like, nope, this is my routine, this is my schedule. And whatever his decision was, there was a reason behind it. And he would tell you what the reason is, and you could come at him with 1,000, counter arguments, and he was not changing his mind. He was gonna do whatever it was. And he wasn't gonna entertain your reasoning either. Like, this was it, this is what he was doing, and that was it.
Never met somebody with so much drive to want to do something and complete it and stay doing it.
Usually kids don't figure it out at that age. At his age, I mean, they're just out there having fun.
My grandparents and my great aunt had these little summer houses or trailers down on the water in Tiverton, Rhode Island. It's on the Narragansett Bay, but it's an inlet. It's gotta be a half a mile across. And at one point, Mark, for training, started swimming back and forth across. And it's not, there's waves and muddy and seaweed and, but that's what he would do. That's how dedicated he is.
So it's up in the morning before school. He's like, I can run to school. I said, whoa, run to school? You can run, or we'll get up early, take your shower, then go to, no, this guy get up, run to school. Take a shower there, and be ready for the day. Get out of school, football practice, running it to lighten up. So everything you give him, and that made sense to him, he would take it to the extreme.
He would put all these posters of all the Sports Illustrated people that lifted weights. I mean, when you went in his room, there wasn't one stitch of the wall left without being covered with bodybuilders or football players or athletes. I mean, that's focus.
Definitely wasn't a gifted athlete. Everything he has, he worked for.
He always had to work harder because everybody was better. That was his mentality. Everybody's better, everybody's more gifted. I have to work harder. His
Motivation, it was intense. Like, you could tell right off the bat, like, he's intense. He's all about, football, being the best he could at it.
He wasn't a talker, he was a doer. He led by action.
People would go to school and they see this giant person doing suicides in the parking lot, like suicide sprints, running, doing hills, and people were like, who is this kid? And he's like, that's Mark. How come he's not out with all the other guys partying? But no, Mark's doing suicides.
I'd be in class, We called it flex class at the time, or study hall. And I'm looking out the window and he's out there running on the track, running sprints, all by himself. And I'm like, this guy's crazy. He's out there all by himself sprinting during his free time.
It didn't matter if it was snowing, cold, he would do that every day. And guess what? It paid off for him. It paid off.
I saw Mark as a freshman. He came in. So we would do Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Mark came in. We had a very ragtag weight room. He was coming in. He was very serious. Never smiled. Just very serious, lifting, very committed. He was in on it. A lot of kids over his high school time, they would last one day with Mark to go lift. They couldn't make it after. They'd be either too sore or saying this is too tough, and they wouldn't hang.
Just his work ethic alone, it was crazy. It was amazing to watch. You know?
You don't want a Mark Megna workout. You don't want it,
Yeah.
Incredible.